Hello and welcome to another episode of All Things Red. Episode 4. We're working on the 250. We're doing new clutch and brake lever. You can see these two here, they don't match. This one's broken and sheared, and this one here has a lot of play in it. And it's just really crummy. I mean, the ones I got are very similar to this, if not exactly the same, just different color, but at least they'll be matching. And we are also doing an oil change and an air filter. So things we have here, crap ton of Yamalube for next oil change, Kawasaki filter, oil filter, the O-ring for it, and the air filter. So that's what we'll need, along with a couple of assorted tools. So let's hop into it. So we're going to start with the clutch lever. There's literally just one bolt, and we have to disconnect the cable, and it should pop right off. So let's do that. So what you want to do is make sure that your adjuster for the tension or the engagement point for the clutch is open so that the grooves line up where the cable can pop out. And since I got this bolt out, this thing should swing out. The cable will find the groove. You have just enough slack to release the cable end. And it's really just that simple. So let's throw the new ones in. Connect the cable end into that little groove, twist it. And then just kind of work it all the way around, get back in. Actually a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. So mine also had a lock washer underneath the bolt, and for some reason this thing threads in, and this thing here, I guess you just got to get tightened, but you can't really get a wrench on it. So what I'm going to try to do is thread it on best by fingers, and then back off the top nut, and then twist them both down together with a wrench on it as best as I can get. So we got the lock washer tight as best we can. We're just going to hold it in place while we tighten down the top one. Make it nice and snug because you don't want your clutch lever falling off while you're riding. And now I already adjusted my tension on my cable up to the lever, so it instantly pulls on the cable. And to adjust that, you have to come down here to the 2 bolts and just play with that until the tension is nice and snug. It's like a little preload on the clutch. And once it's preloaded properly, there's no tension, no slack, and it just feels great. So we got the clutch done. Let's hit the brake. So we have a 10mm bolt underneath here, and then a screw on top. So I was really confused by it, because how come it's a screw on one side and a bolt on the other? I don't know, but it looks like it's factory, so we're not going to question it any further. Got the little lock washer on. Now, I think there's a trick with the screws. If you snap twice, I hear they'll just pop right out. Let's give it a shot. Those are weak snaps. Holy shit, it just worked. Well, go figure. And got the screw out, so this should just peel off nice. That's so easy. So now we can replace our shitty brake lever with a nice new shitty brake lever. Whoa. Well, hell yeah. Just like that. It works. Damn, son. So I've got no levers. Now these things here were 20 bucks on eBay. Took about a month to get here because they came from China. But I got black selectors, black levers, and these are the 6th position. So you can adjust them in, or you can adjust them further out, depending on how big your hands are, how small your testes are. But they look great, work great. We'll see how well they hold up the time. That was probably the simplest project I've done on this bike, and makes a huge improvement on it, I think, over the ones that were on there. So let's do this oil change real quick. So for the oil change on this, we have our fill cap right there for when we're done draining the oil. We have our oil filter right here. Take this off and a shit ton of oil will fall out, and the filter. And the one next to it is our drain plug. This guy right there. Bang, bang. We'll call that a drain plug. We're gonna pull that and get all the oil out of it, top it back up. Looks like we have some leaks going on with the valve cover gasket. I don't know, doesn't look good. We have some more seepage going on down here too. It could be from up top as well. Doesn't look so hot. We had to get that checked out. So let's start with this. Drain the oil, take the filter out, replace the filter plug, and then top it off. That's all there is to it. Yeah, just took off a nice layer of skin. Awesome. So we just cracked them, throw the bucket under. It'll have a whole lot of clearance with this bucket wrench setup. So that is draining, as indicated by my oily hands. So like a dumb fuck, we dropped the plug right into our bucket. So now we can go fishing. And there you have it. Our filter. It's got a little cap on it. The filter, and then the O-ring for the bottom, which does not come with the filter when you buy it from the dealership that I went to. So I had to special order the O-ring, because this should be replaced every time you do an oil change. So let's get those parts together, put this together, and top it off. Installation is exactly the opposite of removal. Throw the O-ring, get your fingers a little bit greasy, and just lubricate the O-ring real quick so that it won't stick when you try to twist it back on and bind and create a leak. Put that in the groove. Alright fam, also learn from me, lubricate the inside of your gaskets or your seals here, otherwise they'll pop off when you try to put it on there. So get that good and moist with some used oil. Learn from my mistakes. Alright, good enough. We'll let the threads catch it back on and push it the rest of the way down. Definitely make sure to clean off the exhaust, or it'll make a horrible smell when you go to start it. If you have brake parts cleaner, good time to use it. And you can just bag this, put it back in your box, and throw it away with normal garbage. But the oil, make sure to get that recycled at like a auto parts store or Walmart takes oil. Make sure you take care of that responsibly. And we got those tightened down. We're just going to top off the fluid. And you should, on this bike at least, you have a mirror or a glass that shows you the oil level. Ideally, it won't be on the stand, it will be flat and upright. And you should have it about halfway, if not more, full of oil. Or whatever your manual says, I never read it. You want to make sure to start the bike and prime the filter before you finish adding oil, because the filter will suck in a couple more glugs of oil. So run it for a little bit, top it off again, and just periodically check it as it lubricates the engine. So it's that easy to do an oil change. You don't have to go to the shop to get it done. It's pretty quick, easy. Just have to pay for oil and filter. And remember to check the level as you start it and as you ride it periodically. You don't want it to run dry. Now we're going to try to figure out how to get this in to the bike. So I've never tried this before, so bear with me as we figure this out together. So I'm guessing that the air box is going to be here. I mean, just going to follow it back from the engine to where the air enters the bike. Basic logic. So to get there, you have to take the tank off, maybe this bracket, and then we'll see where we're at from there. Turn the fuel off. Don't make a big mess. And what I learned from last time is don't turn it all the way over, because this here does not make a good enough seal to hold the gas in upside down. So I'm going to put on a side, and it's pretty full right now, so hopefully we'll make a mess this time. Feels like a filter right here. This might be a lot easier than I was thinking it was going to be. Maybe we're just really dumb because the filter is fucking foam. And foam is malleable and will go right out. Super blonde moment. So there were two pieces of frame that go on either side of this. And for some reason I was thinking I had to get them out, like a dumb fuck. But if I were to look, this is all that I'm changing. There's no reason to take out the frame. This folds. So, ignore everything that I just did. All you gotta do is take the seat off, take the bracket off, open the lid, pull the filter out, put the filter in, and that's it. But you can take out screws if you like. I mean, go for it. So that's really how you do it. You take those parts off, put the filter in between the frames, close it up, and call it a day. And you can see this here is literally saturated in oil or fuel or something. It is grimy, tacky. So I am really excited to get this thing in. Boom, boom. Wow. I'm really glad I went through that whole annoying process. Okay, I was hoping to get those out to clean them, but ain't worth my time. We got a fresh filter going in. So just stuff it like you're stuffing a pussy. Wee. Pack it in the corners. Make sure it's up against that internal, the front most frame part. I don't know what I'm saying. And then attach, slide in the rear frame. Maybe I'll show you guys what's like in here, what I'm looking at, so y'all can see. So this is what it's looking like. There's a box, you got the outer frame, a little piece of plastic with a mesh, and the inner frame, another piece of plastic and mesh, and the foam filter. So we're just going to pack it in gently into the corners and then reattach the other rear frame. And then we're going to do everything we just did for no reason and put it back together. So I lost all the footage of me putting it back together because the phone died. But she's all put together. I'm done with the clutch levers, the air filter, the oil, and that's all we did today. So a couple more projects we need to do on it still. The instrument cluster, what to do with that? I think it's all broken off, maybe when it got knocked over by a truck. The light I want to do something with, maybe fix the high beam. I think it's with a dual filament again, and change it. Still got to do a fender eliminator, and maybe hand grips and tidy some stuff up. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.